Hey everybody, and thanks for stopping by. My name is Stone Rain Productions, but feel free to call me SRP. And one of the cool things that I've had the opportunity to do, and I know I've mentioned it a couple times here, is I've worked with Star Wars Dad to help run his online tournaments, the Force Fam tournament. And yeah, we just had our third one, and I wanted to just bring up the list here. I got the top two, and there was one other really awesome, interesting deck that it looked really cool, and I liked the direction that they were going. And I spoke with the creator of the deck, and he kind of just told me it was an initial thing. And anyway, I wanted to include it because I thought it was cool. I liked it, and it was fun watching him go and do his thing here. But this is our first place deck. As I'm recording this, we had just finished this tournament yesterday. That was November 8th. And if you're interested in playing in Star Wars Dad's tournaments, I do have a link to his channel below. I have links to other content creators that I really like. And I very much enjoy sharing links to other creators' channels because why can't we support each other, you know? So if you're looking for any other really cool Star Wars content, Star Wars Unlimited content, please feel free to check out the links there. But Star Wars Dad has been doing tournaments. We've been trying to do them either every month or every other month. And with Set 6 coming out, we want to try to get something out as quickly as possible. So we don't have a lot of Set 6 in here. With this particular deck, just the knowledge and defense, but I figured I'd go over everything and we can go from there. So first place was Yoda, and this was played by Degreatist, and we had a little bit of fun talking with the creator after the tournament was over here, and we just kind of discussed the deck, and it was really cool. Nice guy, very very nice guy, and really looking forward to seeing what the next iteration of this deck might look like going forward. Just a quick refresher, and I'm going to try to make this a little bit expedient because I've got 3 decks to go over, so I want to try to make it a little bit quick. And definitely no slight to any of the decks because they're all awesome, and all 3 of the people that piloted them are great. Second place, a person, GZ. We've kind of gotten to talking. He's a really great guy, and definitely really like his list as well here too. But we'll start off with Yoda, and I'm sure most people probably know the Yoda leader, but we'll go over it. Yoda is Vigilance, Heroism, and we're pairing that with the Jedi Temple, the Green Force base. And he has Action, Exhaust if a unit left play this phase, draw a card, then put a card from your hand back on top or bottom of your deck. When he flips on 7, you can discard the top card of your deck, and you can defeat some unit in play that has, I believe it's equal to or less than the card's cost. And the Force base just allows us to attack with a Force unit and get the Force, which is, I don't think it's super wildly necessary, but there's definitely some synergies here that we want to utilize. And again, we're going to kind of go over this. We did speak a little bit, and he mentioned that he wanted his 2-drops to die pretty easily so that he can get the Spark of Hope off. Totally get that. And I know that there was another deck that had won something that was kind of based on this as well too. So I'm a little bit familiar with this, but I like the way that the greatest. Sorry, it's a little difficult. So I keep wanting to say greatest, and then I overcorrect and I say it wrong. So apologies. The greatest has a very cool list, and we'll kind of go over the matchup here too. The finals was against a Ray Data Vault, and it was very even to start, but then this just very quickly took over after about the 6 or 7 resource turn, and just really piled its advantage on. They were both great decks, don't get me wrong here, but I think the experiences came from this player. He said that they had I think like 1,000 reps with this version, or maybe not this version, but a version of this deck. So anyway, 2 drops, Battlefield Marine, 2 cost, 3/3, vanilla, but under cost over static card. It's great. Loth Wolf, I've played this in my Flip Palpatine, 2 cost, 3/3, Sentinel, and a can attack. Definitely very good choices for sure, and I can see them getting defeated. We do have a space option as well, 2 cost, 3/2 in space with the Phoenix Squadron A-Wing. I really like this. It's aggressively slanted, and it most likely can be just run into something to get it defeated so that we can play the Spark of Hope. Yaddle's another 2 cost. This one's a little bit more, has a little bit more staying power. It's sticky, I guess is the term people use now, but 2 cost, 2/4 with Restore 1. On attack, each other friendly Jedi gains Restore 1 this phase, and is cumulative to any that they may have already. Spark of Hope, we kind of just loosely discussed this, but 2 cost event, choose a unit in your discard pile. If it was defeated this phase, put it into play as a resource. Just another way for heroic decks to kind of to get a ramp. Blue Leader put in a lot of work in this tournament for sure. 3 cost, 3/3 in space with Ambush, but you can always pay the additional 2 resources, give it 2 extra experience, and move it to the ground arena. Obi-Wan was also very big in the tournament, which he's just always so good. I love this unit. It's awesome. 3 cost, 3/5 when played. When you play a Force unit, including this one, this unit gains Sentinel for this phase. And it's pretty easy to trigger that clause. There's a lot of Force users in this list. Very good at clogging up the ground. 2 copies of Village Protectors as well. 3 cost, 2/2 Sentinel and Shielded. We've got 3 copies of the Yoda from set 1 with the 3 cost, 2/4, Restore 2, and then when defeated, any number of players can draw a card. Pretty good. I don't think I've ever seen the case where you pick your opponent and yourself. It's usually just you. The one new card in the main deck for this list here is Knowledge and Defense. It's a 3 cost event. Give a unit -2/2 for the phase and draw a card. I did not see the greatest. Sorry, keep butchering that. I am so sorry. I didn't see him play this in the tournament, but I can absolutely see this. It replaces itself. It takes finishes something off, or it takes care of something small. It's pretty good. 3 resupply. I think we can all agree that ramp in this game is definitely very, very good. It's very effective. I'd say slightly more effective in Villainy just because of the super laser tech, and it's just so easy to defeat that. 3 copies of You're My Only Hope, another classic with Yoda, lets us get something out a lot sooner. Look at the top card of your deck. You may play it. It costs 5 less. Sorry, my eyes aren't what they used to be. And if your base has 5 or less remaining hit points, you may play it for free instead. Chirrut, pair that with Obi-Wan, and it's just a good way to clog the ground up. Chirrut's amazing, as always. Every deck I've seen him in, he's always overperforming. 4 cost, 3/5 with Sentinel. And when he's attacked, you can use the Force to give the attacker -2/-0. It's a good way to keep him alive and reduce the damage that he's taking. It's just awesome. Itinerant Warrior, 4 cost, 4/4 shielded. When played, you can use the Force and heal 3. Just another good way to use the Force or get the Force token. Again, another Force user. Same with Chirrut, Obi-Wan, Yoda. Just trying to see here. Yaddle. So far, I guess we're caught up. 2 copies of Vanquish, and I really like that this is having a comeback here. I guess especially in the heroic decks where we don't have anything like no glory only results. This is definitely still a solid option, and I think it's better than Takedown at the moment. We've got a lot of units that are in a weird place where you can't really do Fell the Dragon, and Takedown doesn't quite work because they've got too much hit points remaining. So I like this choice. I think it's really good. A smart call for sure. 2 copies of Traitorous. awesome card, and I think it's a perfect deck for this because it's just we just really need to stall till we can get to the late game with this deck. But this basically will allow us to, for 5 cost, allow us to steal an opposing unit that costs 3 or less and gain control of it while this is attached to that unit. We've got 2 copies of Resupply Carrier. Ramping is definitely very important for this deck. It's a 6 cost 4/5 in space. When played, you may put the top card of your deck into play as a resource. Nothing too fancy, but it definitely gets the job done, and it's very good. And when you play this, it's going to get you to your Yoda flip. So it just kind of fits. Yoda flips on 7, this deploys on 6, puts your 7th resource into play. If you wanted to, or you just need to flip your Yoda, that's probably a good time, but it's going to mess with the top of your deck, so you got to keep that in mind. 2 Rivals Fall for any leaders, or I guess big threats that get out of hand. 6 costs, just defeat any unit. The 1 clone was really awesome, and by the time that this video is being posted, it's most likely going to be on a Sunday, and Star Wars Dad will have probably already posted the top 4 and finals events for this tournament, so you'll be able to watch that. But Clone was a house. We got to see it in both games in the final, and it just copied Yoda, and anytime the Clone copies Yoda, things just get really, really bonkers. With healing and then dealing damage, it's awesome, and it seems like that's the primary choice that you want, is to target your own Yoda with this. I don't, to the best of my knowledge, I didn't see it clone anything else. It was just the Yoda, but it was so effective. When they start triggering both of them at the same time, it's bonkers. But for those that don't know, it's a 7 cost that comes in to play. You choose a non-leader, non-vehicle unit, and it becomes a copy of that, except it's not unique, and it gains the clone trait. So you can copy a unique leader, or I'm not leader, a unique unit like a Luke or a Kelleran or a Yoda, as long as it's not a vehicle and it's a non-unique copy of that card. So awesome card. It was really nuts. Kelleran Beck, there's 2 copies in here. 7 cost 7/7. When played, we can search the top 7 of our deck and look for a card. It costs 3 less. A unit card, sorry. It costs 3 less to play with Kelleran. So you can play something bigger if you've got the extra resources to do it. Luke, of course, is just a staple in anything that runs blue. And with all the ramp, we should be able to get to him pretty quickly. But for those that don't know the set 1 Luke, 7 costs 6/7 with Restore 3. And when he comes into play, you can give an enemy unit -3/-3. Or if one of your own units was defeated, you can give that unit -6/-6 instead. Just a very solid card. The Restore 3 is really, really great. Can swing the game back in your favor really easily. Speaking of swinging the game back in your favor, Home 1, he's got 3 copies of it in here. 8 costs 7/7 with Restore 2, and each other friendly unit gains Raid 1. When played, you can play a Heroism card from your discard pile, and it costs 3 less. Another great card. Very solid. Works awesome in this list for sure. And Yoda was... The Yoda unit was pretty amazing, and it just shut the games down really quickly. 8 cost 5/9. When played, you may use the Force. If you do, heal 5 damage from a base. When you play the Clone, you get the same thing. So when you play it, if you've got the Force, which obviously you want to do that, you can heal another 5. And the second part is where it gets really silly. When you use the Force, you may deal damage to a unit equal to twice the number of units you control. So I believe both times I saw this happen, there was at least 4 units in play. It may have been 5. And each one of the Yodas triggered. So the Clone Yoda and the regular Yoda. So they both got this trigger. It's twice the number. So let's say it was 4. They each got to deal 8 damage to a unit, which is just nuts. You're really just wiping the board at that point. One-sided wipe. Sideboard, we can kind of tell what is the problem matchups for this deck. based on the sideboard, and I really like the sideboard, very well thought out. You've got 2 copies of Entrenched. I think this is primarily for the space decks, as there's not a huge space presence in here, but it's a good option to kind of slow them down a little bit. We did see this come in with both the first and second place decks, just to beef up the Sentinels, or they were both ground-based decks, and it definitely helped turn the tide for sure. The Eager Escort Fighter, 401 with ambush and space, just a great option and a good space removal. One other extra copy of Chirrut. The Daughter against aggressive decks, absolutely love this. I think this is brilliant sideboarding. 3 copies of the Daughter, 5 cost, 4/6. When damage is dealt to your base, you may use the Force. If you do, heal 2 damage from your base. Just a solid option, and with the ramp that we've got, we should be able to get into this pretty quickly. One last copy of Kelleran Beck, and then one other copy of our Quentin's Salt Cruiser, which is an 8 cost, 7/8 ambush. When this unit attacks and defeats a non-leader unit, you can put the defeated unit into play as a resource under your control. And bravo to Greatest. Awesome deck. It was really, really fun watching this. I do have a link to Star Wars Dad's channel in the video description. Please feel free to go check out his channel. There's other content creators as well. But by the time this posts, Star Wars Dad should have the Force Fam top 4 and finals listed as well. So I just wanted to share this. And also, thank you very much, Star Wars Dad, for allowing me and Tantastic to help out with this, because we've had a blast doing this, and we've met a lot of really cool people. So it's been an awesome, awesome, awesome opportunity. Star Wars Dad's a great content creator. Please definitely check out his channel if you haven't already. And now we're going to move on to the second place deck, which is Rey Data Vault by GZ, Force Fam Tournament 3. And so after the first tournament, GZ came in second, and I made a video on his deck, the Vader Blue, which was basically, he took the Talzin out of a Talzin deck when set 5, it was the set 5 meta, and put Vader in there, and I just absolutely loved what he did. I thought it was really cool. I liked all the changes that he made to it to kind of make it fit Vader better. And you could tell that he knew his stuff with this list, because the guy is just a really awesome player, for sure. If you haven't checked out that Vader blue list, that's something that I've created. You can go back and check that later as well, too. Very, 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 very awesome deck, and I still love it. I have a soft spot for it, for sure. So, by all means, if you run into GZ on any of the online places to play, or if you happen to know him on Discord, he's a great dude. Like, seriously, both of these top 2 finishers were really, really awesome competitors, and I love the fact that when we finish up, the guys end up, guys and girls, I should say, end up talking with each other after to just kind of go over the matches. So that's really the highlight, going in there to hear what was going on and how much they respect each other. So very, very cool. Now, as far as Rey is a hero vigilance, and she's got an ability where you can pay 1 and exhaust her and give an experience token to a unit with 2 or less power, which has always been pretty solid. I think ever since it first came out in set 2. She flips on 6 resources. She's got the same ability, but it's on attack. You don't have to pay a resource, and she has Restore 3. And GZ is pairing that with Data Vault, so he has to start with 60 cards in his deck. And he's got a good list, a very good list. We kind of talked about this before. He was planning on playing something else and pivoted to this. So I think with even more experience under his belt with this, he's just going to be lethal with his deck. And one of the cards I was super, super impressed with just in watching some of the games was this Populist Advisor. I actually, After this was done, I ended up falling asleep. So the next morning when I got up, I pulled out my commons and uncommons, and I pulled these out because I was so impressed. And GZ, it's because of you. I'm going to pull them out, and I've got a couple other ideas for this card. But it's a 1-cost, 1/4, New Republic official, and I really, really love this ability. When an enemy unit deals combat damage to your base, this unit gains Sentinel for this phase. It's so good against aggressive decks. It's a 1-drop. It's hard to get rid of because of the 4 toughness. And with Rey, you can play this on turn 1 and give it the experience and turn it into a 2/5. And so sure, they can go in and attack something, but now all the other attackers have to go after your Populous Advisor. So very cool piece of tech. I really like this quite a bit. And really seriously cool idea. Next up, he's got the classic set 1 card draw and card selection choice here with R2 and C3PO. And I'm pretty sure R2 is primarily to work with Rey for the same thing here with Populous Advisor. Play it on turn 1, give it an experience. But R2 lets you look at the top card of your deck. You may put it on the bottom of your deck or just put it back on top. And C3PO, 2-cost, 1/4. When played on attack, choose a number, then look at the top card of your deck. If it's the chosen number, you get to reveal it and draw it. They work very well together. So I can see that it's a good way to get extra cards drawn and still have board presence. So I really like that quite a bit. 2 copies of Jar Jar. Jar Jar is just awesome right now. I'm glad to see that he got his own card. That was good. 2 cost, 2/1. When played, give another friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase with plot. And so just a quick refresher on plot. That's when you deploy your leader. You can pay its cost, the Jar Jar that is, and it comes into play at the same time as your leader. So you can give your leader +2/+2, or you can give something else. Sentinel perhaps if you need to ensure that your ground force is going to live. Great card. I definitely like it. I didn't see GZ play this in the matches that I saw, but I have used this in my own matches, and it's really good. Speaking of really good, we've got Mina Bonteri. 3 copies, a 2-drop, 2/4 with Restore 1. When defeated, you can disclose command heroism, and if you do, you get to draw a card. This is just such a solid card. It's 4 health, which is great for a 2-drop, but you get to Restore 1. Early, you may not have damage unless you're on the draw, but when defeated, the drawing a card is just fantastic. As far as card selection, GZ really went in here with Mon Mothma from set 1, which I think is another very good choice. So 1/4, and GZ really played off of this, the Rey ability quite a bit, which I like, because we've got a lot of these 1 or 2 power units that he can just easily beef up with Rey right away. Mon Mothma from set 1, 2 cost, 1/3. When played, you can search the top 5 cards of your deck for a rebel card, reveal it, and draw it. Then you put the rest of the cards on the bottom of your deck. Just a good way to get some card advantage. I didn't go through and check the rebel count, but I'm sure that it's good. Mon Mothma herself is a rebel. R2 and 3PO are rebels. Akbar, rebel. Blue Leader. Yeah, we've got plenty of rebels in here. We can kind of just keep track of it as we go. Speaking of a 2-drop, we've got a 2/3 with that costs 2, Restored Arc 170 with Restore 1. Not a lot to go over here, just a good solid card to keep you alive so you can get to your later game. GZ's running 2 copies of Entrenched, which came in huge. I did see him play this on his Captain Typho a couple times, and boy, talk about hard to defeat once you get an Entrenched on that. It's just bonkers. GZ just really plays the game very, very well, very smart, and just a lot of respect. Sorry, I'm gushing, but he's a cool guy. Next up at 3, we've got an Admiral Akbar, again with a 1/4, very easy to beef up with Rey twice if we need to, because it's 2 or less. Akbar's a 1/4 for 3, Restore 1. When played, we may deal damage to a unit equal to the number of units we control in its arena. Just a solid way to get rid of units. And kind of tied in with that, Blue Leader. We talked about this with the Yoda deck, but same thing here. 3 cost 3/3 ambush, or we can pay 2 and move it to the ground and give it 2 experience. 3 copies of Tech, which I kind of like this in the grindier matchups. This is a very grindy deck for sure, where the games can go long, absolutely, but this deck's very well built to handle that. And for those that aren't aware, Tech 3 cost 2/5 Fringe Clone. Each friendly resource gains Smuggle. The gained Smuggle cost is that card's cost plus 2 and its aspect. Just a good way to get cards from your resource row into play. Sure, they cost a little bit more, but it's absolutely worth it because it gives you way more card selection, and I think that's a great choice. 3 Village Protectors. We saw this in the other list as well with the Yoda, so we're going to just move on. Again, resupply, we saw this with the other list. This is just a 3 cost ramp card. Very solid choice. Like this quite a bit. It was nice to see this Bright Hope because I hadn't seen it in some time, but I think this is a great time to bring it back right now. 4 cost 2/5 Sentinel, 2/6 Sentinel in space. And when played, you can return a friendly non-leader ground unit to its owner's hand. If you do, draw a card. This did come up once that I can remember for sure, but clogging up space, it was really nice. I love the big hit points on this. Definitely an awesome unit for sure. Really like it. So nice job bringing that back. Captain Typho, we talked about it before. 3 of, and I absolutely would play 3 as well. It's a 4 cost 4/5 with Sentinel. And when this unit is attacked, you may disclose command heroism, and if you do, you heal 1 damage from your base. It's a nightmare to deal against this card. You're blocking whatever they attack with, and you're restoring health to your base. It's just, yeah, it's great. 3 copies of Fell the Dragon. Defeated a non-leader unit with 5 or more power. Just an awesome card. It's been playable since set 2 when it first came out. Still playable now. I was kind of joking with Tantastic while we were doing commentary on the finals. I'm sorry, on the top 4. I was like, oh, it'd be really... I didn't have the deck list up at the time. And I said, boy, it'd be really cool if GZ was running Captain Rex. And it happened to be the 6th resource turn, and he played it. And boy, it was... It's like, wow, okay, we're on the same page here. It's really cool, but man, do I love this card. And GZ, nice pick on this for sure. I think it's awesome fit. And I think Captain Rex is going to see a lot of play, but it's 6 cost 7/7, under cost overstated. Love it. When played, and when this unit completes an attack, give this unit and an enemy unit Sentinel for this phase. If you know how to play the game at all or have any inkling of strategy, this should be super easy to take advantage of that ability. And I love it. 7/7 is just so difficult to get through that usually. Yeah, I love it. GZ's running 1 copy of Rival's Fall. Absolutely love that as well. Defeats a unit, even if it's a leader. 3 copies of Luke, we discussed that as well, which I think if you're running blue, especially in a ramp deck, yeah, Luke, blue, it's just pretty much an auto-include. Hyperspace Disaster. When I saw this, yeah, absolutely think this is the right call, especially for a deck like this, because you're not playing space for the most part. You want to be able to clear up, especially in a ramp deck. I'll defeat all space units for 7. Yeah, I love it. I love this. It's identifying a problem matchup and taking care of it in the main deck. I definitely dig that. I think it's really cool. So, great shout out there. Ewing Reinforcements. Haven't really seen this pop off in a bit, other than the Hanwhan Green, which really started to come back after the Force Throw ban. But 7 cost, and it lets us, an event, lets us search the top 10 cards of our deck for up to 3 units with combined cost of 7 or less, and put them into play for free. So we get to just look at the top 10 cards and put up to 7 cost worth of units into play. It's just been traditionally a solid card, and it did some work in the tournament as well. And you got to second place, so that speaks volumes too. So 3 copies of Home 1, another card that we talked about with the other one, but it's so grindy and powerful, it just makes perfect sense here. And the last main deck card, which this is another one I absolutely love. It's kind of like Heroic's Snoke, meaning that it's a 9 cost 8/8, and when played, each enemy unit gets -3 and -3 for this phase. So it just kind of takes out a bunch of damaged units or weak units immediately, and then when an enemy unit is defeated, give an experience token to a friendly unit. You can put them on bow if you want, but you can kind of spread the love around. It's just a nasty card, especially in anything that's ramping. It's just really, really good, and I love that. I'm probably going to put a copy or 2 on my Flip Palpatine at some point as well. For the sideboard, we've got the 3rd copy of Entrenched, which I think is great against the more aggressive decks, just so you can get to your Hyperspace Disaster. 3 regional governors. I didn't talk to GZ about what you name with this or what the problem is, but I think it's just an overall, if you are playing against something and you don't have a plan, you can just name that and you've got yourself an answer, as long as you can put a Sentinel down and protect this. But one of the matchups for sure that it looks like he's got an issue with this heavy space. He's running 2 direct hits in the sideboard. Love it. 4 cost to defeat a non-leader vehicle unit. It's just a good card. We don't have to worry about toughness values. Just if it's a vehicle, it takes it out, as long as it's not a leader. Timely Reinforcements. I have actually never played this card, and I kind of like it for the space matchups. 5 cost event, choose an opponent. For every 2 resources they control, create an X-Wing token and give it Sentinel for this phase. Just a good way to get a bunch of space units into play if you really need to, and also give them Sentinel. It just kind of stops damage from coming your way for a turn, maybe 2, depending on how things play out. I really like the one Unity of Purpose in here as well too. I can totally see that in the grindy matchups where you're just taking out their units one after another, and then you finally start to turn the corner and get a board advantage. This can finish the game off real quick. And lastly, just the final copy of Hyperspace Disaster for those space decks. Great deck, great finish, top 2. This is the second top 2 for GZ, so awesome job. Congratulations to both GZ and Degretus. Fantastic job, honestly. Bravo. Very, very well done. Proud of you both, and I'm happy that you both did so well with the decks. But there was one other deck that I wanted to just kind of go over quickly, and it ended up finishing 6th. But it was cool because when I spoke with a player about this, it goes by Zool on Discord, he said that it was just an idea, and he didn't really test with it at all, just kind of threw it together, and he still did pretty well. And this is the list, and I kind of lent a name to it, Zool, so I hope that's okay. I just called it So Sly, because the deck's pretty sly, and it just, what Zool is doing here is pretty much what you would expect with Sly, but I don't think I've seen anybody really come up with a double yellow list for Sly yet. Cunning just kind of checks all the boxes for everything that Sly wants to do. So I think this is a pretty cool list, and I'm probably going to get with Zool at some point and just kind of talk about this, but seriously awesome job with this. And this is verbatim what he had, so I just copied everything the way it was. Sly Moore is leader with Cunning Villainy, and are paired with a Cunning base, 30 hit points. Action, pay 1. If there are 4 or more exhausted units in play, create a spy token. The flip side, she flips on 5, and the flip is she can deal 2 damage to an exhausted unit, which again fits the kind of theme of what we're going for with this. He did mention that there are some changes that he would like to make, This was just a very kind of like a cursory initial list of it, but it looked really cool. And yeah, I was kind of watching matches with bated breath just to see how this would do, and it was pretty cool. Accelerate our plans, 1 cost event. Exhaust a friendly unit. If you do attack with another unit, it gets +3/+0. Good to get some aggression in there. This is more of like a... It's hard to really quantify this because it's more like a mid-range deck, but it's kind of also like a control deck in a way. And there's not a lot of like real aggression going on for the most part. So this, from my what I'm getting out of this, is you want to try to control the board early, get to the point where you've got enough advantage where then you can turn the tide and start attacking. This is a great way to do that. Same with Hotshot DL44 Blaster. I think everybody knows it, but 1 cost, and if you smuggle it for 3, you get to attack with a unit, and it gives it +2/+0. Bazine, 2 cost, 1/3. When played, you get to look at an opponent's hand, and you may discard one of those cards. If you do, they get to draw a card. It also has Smuggle for 4, so you can very easily resource that and play it. I love Smuggle and Plot just because it gives you more options of what to do. This Grievous, I think, is super cool. And game designers, I really wish that you would have given this Sentinel instead of Hidden. I think that would have been such a hilarious card. It would have made opponents very frustrated. But as is, 2 cost, 3/3 with Hidden, and when this unit is attacked, you return them to your hand. Yeah, I think it's hilarious. I love this card, and it's an official, so it fits kind of the sub-theme here of what Zool was doing. Good choice. I love it. Speaking of frustrating cards, Regulations Bureaucrat. Just absolutely adore this card. 2 costs, 0/5, with an action to exhaust a resource. Just a good way to slow your opponent down, and 5 hit points on a 2-drop is just... It's going to take 2 or 3 turns to get this off the board, and meanwhile you're just putting your opponent down a resource for the first few turns. It's pretty cool. Another card I've been kind of checking out as well too, but charged with espionage. When you play it, you can disclose Cunning. If you do, you get to look at an opponent's hand and discard a card from it. You're almost always going to have 2 cunning aspects that you can reveal for this, so I think that's a piece of cake. And a nice choice too, since there's no Spark of Rebellion, because Spark was heroism. No one ever knew. I didn't really see this one played, but 2 cost event. For each friendly official unit, exhaust an enemy unit. I think that this is brilliant with what Sly is trying to do, and there are plenty of officials that are in this list as well. There are some choices that I wasn't quite sure about, but I absolutely can see this doing some major work. Surprise Strike, 2 cost event, +3/+0, and attack with the unit. Just a classic card. Darth Trey is not an official, but it's a 3 cost, 2/5, with on attack you may ready a non-unit leader. Another way to get more uses out of our slime more. So bravo there. It's there's 4 more exhausted units combined between you and your opponent. You'll just be able to make an additional spy. So worst case, even if you've got no cards in hand, let's say, you can activate Sly if there's 4 units that are exhausted, make a spy, attack with Utreya, ready this, use it your leader again with that 1 resource, make another spy. I can absolutely see that being great in here. Lurking Snub-Nosed Fighter, 3 cost. When played, you get to exhaust in a unit, and this has plot. I think this fits perfectly with what Sly's trying to do. At the very least, if you play this with plot when you deploy Sly, you're just exhausting something, so it's going to get the 2 damage from Sly when she flips, so it's pretty cool. Lurking TIE Phantom doesn't really have a synergy per se with the rest of it. It's just a really difficult to deal with space threat. If your opponent's not running space at all, it's going to deal lots and lots and lots of damage. So love the choice here. Very difficult to deal with. And speaking of cool choices, political bully, I dig it. 3 cost, 2/3. When played, if you control another official unit, you may deal 2 damage to a ground unit. I just completely overlooked this card, if I'm being honest. But it makes perfect sense in this list. There's definitely enough officials to make this work, so I like the choice here. Great 3 cost unit to play. I was a little bit confused with now there are 2 of them. Initially, just because I wasn't sure what we were playing it off of, but that was because I hadn't really seen the list. The best thing that I can think of is an early official, and then you get into Trade Federation delegates. We'll touch on that in a second, but this card, now there are 2 of them, 3 cost event. If you control exactly 1 unit, play a non-vehicle unit from your hand that shares a trait with it. If you do, it costs 5 less. So if we have an official, we can play an official from our hand for 5 less, put it into play. Undercover operations. This one I overlooked as well too, but 3 cost. Ready unit that was played this phase, it costs 3 less than you create a spy token. I'm not really sure the full idea behind this one, but exhausting a unit, I can totally see that. Readying a unit, I mean, that costs 3 or less, something like Atreya, I can absolutely see that. And then making another spy just to get the board gummed up. And that kind of ties in with Palpatine, the unit, 4 cost, 2/6, double cunning. Each token unit you create enters play ready. Huge upside to that with this deck. On attack, if a unit left play this phase, you get to create a clone trooper token. So just another way to generate a clone. It's going to come in ready for Palp. Cunning is definitely one of the best cards from set 1. It's gone down in, I guess, decks that it's been seen in because there's not a lot of double cunning anymore, which is kind of a shame. But 4 cost double cunning, choose 2 in any order, return a non-leader unit with 4 or less power to its owner's hand, give a unit +4/+0 this phase, exhaust up to 2 units, or an opponent discards a card at random from their hand. I can tell you from my own experience, it's usually one of the first 3 options. So it's just a solid card. It's so good. Mandalorian, I've been playing this in DJ. Love this card. It's good as a pilot, it's good on the ground, but I think it's definitely better on the ground in this deck, and my DJ as well too. But anyway, 5 cost, double cunning, 5/6. When played as a unit, exhaust up to 2 ground units, and when you play it as a pilot, you can exhaust an enemy unit in this arena. 2 cost to do it as a pilot, and it gives +3/+1. Just a very solid card. Now, circling back to the Trade Federation delegates, it's a 5 cost, 3/4. It's a common. Again, this is another one I overlooked, I should say. But it's pretty good with now there are 2 of them because when played, you create 2 spy tokens. Is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know, but really, if we've got an official in play, then we play now there are 2 of them. We get this. We're now up to 4 units on turn 2. That's pretty good. So yeah, I think it's a cool idea at the very, very least, and certainly something to explore a little bit more. And our last card, it looks like there's 1 copy of Grand Admiral Thrawn, 7 cost, cunning villainy 8/7. When played, an opponent may choose a non-leader unit they control. If they do, this unit captures that unit. If they don't, you get to ready the Thrawn. And when defeated, a friendly unit captures an enemy non-leader unit in the same arena. Just a good way to get rid of a problem. And this was just an initial build from what Zool was saying. Just kind of threw it together and ran with it. And he did pretty well. And I really like the synergies here. And I'm excited to see how this deck kind of mutates and evolves as he goes along here. But those are the decks that I wanted to touch base with. The first place for the Force Fam tournament. Big congratulations to DeGreatest. Awesome job with the Yoda Green Force. Very, very well done. Awesome deck. It was awesome to watch the matches. Again, if you haven't checked them out, go please check out Star Wars Dad's channel. I do have a link in the description. When this comes up, the video should be up. I just don't know when he's going to do it. Also, GZ, great job on your second top 4 finish in the Star Wars Force Fam tournaments. I really look forward to seeing what you play, and I think that you're awesome at this game. So keep up the awesome work and the great deck building. And Zool, I really wanted to highlight this because your deck is really cool. It's a lot of fun. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, but yeah, I will be remedying that very soon. So thanks for the cool idea at the very least, and awesome job, really awesome. Big shout out to all the people that played in this. I met a lot of nice people. Shout out to Kimmy playing one of my favorite leaders, Kazuda. There was so many players as well, between Degretus, GZ, Kimmy, Zool, all awesome. So feel free to join their Discord. You don't have to be part of the Patreon, just you can join. I believe there's a link, and there's a super, super good community there. Once I get enough subscribers, I'll probably launch my own Discord and kind of go from there. But that's neither here nor there. Just wanted to say also thanks so much for the support you guys have all been giving me. Really, really appreciate it. Had a fun time just kind of talking about different ideas and things like that. So just wanted to say thanks for that. And before I get out the door, if you could please consider liking and subscribing. It definitely really helps me out a lot. So I would really appreciate any support that you could give me. By all means, you don't have to. I'm doing this for fun. That's pretty much the primary reason why I'm doing it, because I love the game, and that's it. But it's nice to have the support. So if you'd like to, please feel free, but no obligation. So you don't, if it's not something you feel like doing, no problem. I get it. And with all of that, thanks for checking out the recap for the Force Fam 3 tournament that took place on November 8th on Star Wars Dad's channel. Again, we had our first place Yoda with Force Green. We had Rey with Data Vault for second place. And we have this awesome list that we're seeing on the screen here for 6th place, which was a super creative build. My name's Stone Rain Productions. Feel free to call me SRP. And just want to say, may the Force be with you guys. Really appreciate you. And I hope that you're all well. Take care, my friends. Be well.